Hello there, interwebs. My name is Fernando Maldonado, and this is an excerpt from my short story, All the Devils Are Here. "You're killing me, Mephistaslas!" bellowed Astros. Mephistaslas sunk into the seat of appraisal, shoulders hunched, the sweat glazing his crimson forehead, leaving visible patches upon his crumpled shirt. A blackened patch of hair lay disheveled between his horns. It was his quarter-century review, and things were not going well. His boss, Asteros, the unyielding, was chewing him out in all but a literal sense. The bulky, demonic overseer loomed over him, a parchment of stats in his clawed hands, his eyes blood-red and nostrils flaring above his heavy beard as he paced back and forth in his office deep within hell's citadel of suffering. A huge desk of obsidian stood between them as a portrait of Big D, horned, sharply dressed, and smirking with malice and confidence, hung in the corner. Big D, or Lou, as some called him, was the first demon, the entrepreneurial renegade who quit heaven's legions of angels ages ago to set up shop in hell, the final, terrible resting place for all sinful mortals. Business was always booming. Around them echoed the screams of the torture and agony of countless damned souls. "These numbers are pathetic," Astros continued. 25 years into the new millennia, and you come to me with no less than 3 possessions, 2 of which were comatose. "They were suicide attempts," said Mephistaslas. "They were trying to off themselves and botched it, so I jumped in and helped them finish the job." Astros pressed his mighty palm against his forehead, his black claws puncturing the flesh against his temples. He sighed as he drew blood. "Suicides don't count, Mep," he roared, the wounds in his face already closing. "How many times have we been over this? If they're suicidal, they're already on the way over here. You're wasting your time." Okay, but what about the kid I corrupted? The goth kid. Yeah, the goth kid that was already listening to Scandinavian death metal and fucking around with Ouija boards. Yeah, the goth kid you contacted when he was already dreaming of killing his family. Yeah. Astros sighed. The room trembled. "I'll give you some credit for giving him the final push and getting him institutionalized for life. But you know Big D's policy about goth kids. Damnation is neither tragic nor terrifying if they expect it or want it." Mephistaslas sunk back and moaned from the depths of his black soul. There was simply no hope of victory against hell's unforgiving standards. Astros leaned back on his chair that was sewn from the flesh of 1,000 blasphemers and took out a cigar. He lit it with a small flame that sprang upon the tip of his finger. Sucking it in, he blew out a thick cloud of smoke. "I'm gonna have to drop you down to imp duties," he said. Mephistaslas' eyes popped out as he almost sprang from the seat of appraisal. "What?" he shouted. "Imp duties? No, Az, you can't do this to me. I haven't been an imp since the Sumerian days. That's the lowest tier in hell. If you're gonna play with the high rollers, you gotta perform. Look at these numbers. You doing that? Az, for crying out loud, you gotta give me another chance." Astros sat, sucking his smoke. His clawed fingers tapped the edge of his seat. "I like you, Mep," he finally said. "I do. I remember the old days, the dark ages. You were a terror back then. They used to write poems about you." "Yeah, you sure did. Alchemists would get in their little trances and draw illustrations about you. You were the breaker of souls. That's what they used to call you." "They did, didn't they?" he said with a nervous laugh. "What happened, Mep?" Mephistaslas stared at the floor, the outside screams fading from his mind as he wondered. "Well, it's changed, he said. "It ain't the Dark Ages no more. The mortals, they don't fear us like they used to. Back then, when they were living in huts, not knowing if their crops were going to go bad or if barbarians were going to come charging down from the north, or if that spot on their arm was the plague. It was easy for them to be afraid. Deep into the night, staring at the darkness spread over the woods. Hell, staring at the dark patches in the houses. Wondering if I was there, staring back at them. Waiting for a moment of weakness. Now it's all about science and gadgets and laws. They don't believe in us. A lot of them don't even believe in God no more. It ain't the same world as. It just ain't the same world." "Ain't that the truth?" said Astros. "That's why you gotta adapt." "Adapt? Adapt? How the hell am I supposed to adapt to this? They got doohickeys telling them when it's gonna rain. You can't even spring a surprise hurricane or sandstorm on them no more." "But they still happen, though. The world's still a terrifying place, man. Just because the mortals can see disaster coming, don't mean it ain't a disaster. The demons driving now understand that and know how to tap into those feeds." Mephistaslas said nothing, but sank back into the seat of appraisal. All the red drained out of his accursed flesh. All right. There's one job," said Astros. Mephistaslas perked up. "All our best guys have been on it," Astros continued, "but none of them have been able to make any headway. Big D really wants this one. The guy that pulls this off is going to be a goddamn hero." "I can do it. What's the job?" Astros smirked. With a snap of his fingers and a burst of flame, a hole in the fabric of space-time opened, revealing a crowded stadium. Millions were gathered, carrying signs and wearing red hats. Addressing them, high up on a stage behind a podium, was a man in a gray suit and red tie. His golden hair shone like a beacon perched atop his beaming cherub face. "Who the hell is that?" asked Mep. "That is our target, Larry Reginald Brownstone, Senator from Virginia and newly elected President of the United States." "President? Big D's trying to snag the president? Not like it's the first time we went after one of them. This one's posed a challenge." "Why?" "Listen to him." Mephistaslas perked up his pointed ears. "The people of America have spoken," said Brownstone. "With a landslide victory, they have given us an unquestionable mandate. We must wrest this country away from the corrupting grip of secularism and bring America back to God." "Ugh, evangelical?" asked Mephistaslas. "Oh, yeah," answered Astros. "Before the good senator got elected to Congress, he was an ordained Baptist minister. Son of a bitch is so sanctimonious he practically pisses holy water." "Shit, no wonder no one can nab him." "All's not lost yet, Mep. Take a gander who's sitting behind him." Mephistaslas' yellowed eyes glanced back toward a cadre of shady individuals in suits seated but a few feet from the senator. There were 3 of them. "Who are those clowns?" he asked. "The puppet masters," said Astros. "The pullers of the strings. The tech bros. All that yapping you did about gadgets and doohickeys? They're the ones building the doohickeys." "Who are they?" "From left to right, Matt Huckersmith, Emperor of social media. Owns everything from FaceSpace to Pictobook. Next to him is Leon Fuss, the pride of South Africa. Ruler of the Z Empire." "The Z Empire?" Spacey, Z Autos, Z Media, Z Payouts, Z Appliances. What's the Z stand for? Who the fuck knows? Bastard's got a thing for Z's. See Baldy next to him? That's Josh Kissinger, CEO of InstaShop. Whoa, ain't that the company that... Yep, the company that single-handedly killed the retail sector. Get a new TV, a new shirt, some bananas for lunch. Order on InstaShop.com, get it at the end of the day. Wow, said Mep, in awe of such a company. But wait a minute, Az. These are business guys. What they doing hanging out with a religious freak? Astro sighed. Ugh. He pressed his palm against his face again and drew some more blood. See, that's the problem with you, Mep. You're not up to date on how the current world works. No, they're not religious guys. But if you want to get elected to higher office in today's world, you gotta have the backing of people with money. These clowns, they're the money. It's just like Florence, back in the Medici days. Exactly like Florence. So listen up, Matt. Larry ran on a platform to bring America back to God. But these guys, they don't care about any of that. These guys spent a lot of dough getting Larry elected, and they're going to want a favor soon. And they're not particularly scrupulous about how he goes about filling that favor. Very soon now, Larry's going to be at a crossroads, where he's going to have to choose between the Constitution he swore to uphold and the demands of his financial backers. So far, he's been a total Boy Scout about it, but his will is weakening. We need someone to give him the final push. Someone who understands religious freaks. Mephistaslas sat, his black demon's heart pounding, sweat dripping as he dug his claws into the seat of appraisal. This could be it. This could be his chance at a comeback. You said Big D really wants this guy? He asked. The CDO office ran the numbers. Office of Chaos, Despair, and Opportunity. If this guy succumbs to darkness and starts slashing economic regulations left and right, on top of imposing a radical religious agenda, we're looking at a 90% growth in global destabilization. We're talking riots, food shortages, economic depression, famine, pestilence, war. Hell, we might even have a civil war or two on our hands. And all the while, this guy is trying to impose his religious rule on everyone. Mep, this could be another Dark Ages. Another Dark Ages, said Mep, his yellow eyes lighting up. The opportunities for possession that'll open up to us with that much pain and suffering will be unprecedented. The guy who pulls us off will be a hero. Big D himself might endeavor to descend upon the throne of deceit and personally shake that demon's hand. So how about it, Matt? You in? Mephistaslas' breathing quickened. He could hear Brownstone's words echoing across the stadium. Some mumbo-jumbo about saving the unborn and protecting traditional marriage. This guy was almost too good to be true. A real zealot. Inside him, a fire was igniting. Within the malevolent heart of every demon, there lives a very basic desire. A desire to corrupt. To take a mortal's best intentions and twist it into something monstrous. He could do this. A plan was already unfolding in his wicked mind. This is his shot at redemption. I'm in, Az, he said, his yellow eyes glowing as the smoke spat out of his nostrils.